The Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association presents Ohio County Fair Racing. Ohio County Fair Racing is brought to you by Big D's Tack and Vet Supply, Cool Winds Farm, Midland Acres, the Ohio State University Veterinary Medical Center, and thestable.ca. Now let's go trackside for all the action.
The Ottawa County Fair is the youngest of its kind in the state of Ohio. The official record begins in 1964, but its history dates back much further. The very first fair was held in Port Clinton, almost 160 years ago. The location of the fair caused major conflict between Ottawa County towns. After 2 decades of dispute, Port Clinton and Oak Harbor decided to each hold their own independent fair. With neither seeing much success, no fair would be held in Ottawa County for the entire next century. The Ottawa County Agricultural Society was formed in the early 1960s. The organization spearheaded the reestablishment of a junior fair. It consisted of only 2 tents and a wagon pushed together to make a stage, but it was a hit. The fair grew quickly, and by 1968, the permanent fairgrounds was purchased, a racetrack was built, and harness racing was introduced the same year. The sulkies brought new excitement for spectators. Today, the Ottawa County Fair features 2 days of standardbred racing. They are a member of the Ohio Fair Racing Conference and include a leg of the Spring Haven Farm Ladies Driving Series.
The roots of harness racing are born at the county fairs. For over 150 years, people have gathered to watch horses battle it out for fame and glory. Catch the thrills this summer at an Ohio Fair Racing Conference County Fair. The OFRC races at 21 fairs in 19 Ohio counties. Trotters and pacers put it all on the line to be called the best in the Buckeye State. The Ohio Racing Conference, where the path to greatness begins.
Hello everyone, and this is Austin Scott, and we're bringing you some harness racing action from the Ottawa County Fair in Oak Harbor, Ohio, where today we have a 10-race card that we'll be bringing to you live on the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association YouTube network. So today with the Ohio Fair Racing Conference, it's the Philly Day here. A lot of Philly stakes action to be played out. Also, we have the ladies pace, and then the nightcap is going to be the signature series pace here in race number 10. So we're getting ready to go with race number 1 here. All the pre-race festivities are all taken care of here. Bill Peters, our master of ceremonies, and on the mic announcing today. And here in race 1, we have the 2-year-old filly trotters going to post here. A field of 5 going for a purse of $5,368. And this is the first division of 2 here of the 2-year-old filly trotters with the Ohio Fair Racing Conference. So we'll go down through the field here. Originally 5 scheduled to go postward. It's going to be scratched down to a field of 4 with the 1 We Love Lucy that was trained by Gary Gilliland, scheduled to be driven by Greg Bates and scratched here. So scratch to 1 in race number 1, We Love Lucy. The 2 is G's Independence, trained by Jim Mullenix and will be driven by Cameron McCown. The 3 is Shonda, trained and driven by Derek Flowers. The 4 is Just Believe, Bill Webb doing the training. Kim Pluta will do the driving on this one. And the 5 rounding out the field is Not a Clue, trained and driven by Ed Greeno Jr. So again, a field of 4 going postward here in the first division, first race of the 2-year-old filly trot here at the Ottawa County Fair.
In race 6, Don Hartman is already driving the number 5 horse. In race 6, we need a driver on number 3, Western Sugar.
So going through some other driver changes in the latter races today. But again, here in this first race, the only change is the scratch of the 1, We Love Lucy. And this will be the first race of the daily double here to kick off the card in Oak Harbor. About ready to go. I think we have one horse out still warming up for a later race and just doing some last-minute track prep before we get ready to go here. Again, a card of 10 races here today.
Remember, they parade the right way of the track here at the Ottawa County Fair. They parade the right way of the track, so when you bring the horses on the track, just keep them at that last turn and parade the right way of the track. Here gets the barns. Start hooking your horses for race 1. That's G's Independence, Shonda, Just Believe, and Not a Clue. Hook those horses for race 1 and bring them on out.
So looking down through, again, this field of 4 here, the 2 is G's Independence. This horse making the transition over from the Hank Levan barn, actually. So I do remember talking to Hank about this filly last month at the Paulding County Fair. And she was a late entrance into his barn at that time, actually came up from Florida. So he actually only had her a couple months before the season started. Really did like her and saw some potential in her, but he felt like he just got her too late into the year to really have her fully prepped. But that being said, transitions over to the Jim Mullenix barn here with Cameron McCown driving. So look out for G's Independence. A change of barns heading into today's race. The 3 is Shonda for Derek Flowers, who also does the training here. His dad, Moses Flowers Jr., actually owns this horse. Moses has been in the sport here since the 70s, and he's known out in Illinois. He had 2 famous trotters out there known as One-Eyed Sandwich and JL Crossing Seas that saw a lot of success out on the Illinois circuit, and he wanted to get back into some trotters again. So Derek bought this one, really loved her attitude at the sale. She's a Team 6 filly out of a Sand Chaser mare named Memory's Dream. But Derek's been super happy again with her attitude here and really was shocked in a good way with her qualifying effort at Hawthorne here just a couple weeks back on July the 10th, where she left from post position 1 and stayed out on the lead. Ended up second there by just 6 lengths in a time of 2:03 and 2. Finishing behind a horse named Uncle Buck. So really impressive qualifier there, and Derek, I know, has high hopes for her as they shipped in today. So he was actually going to put her in with the Buckeye Stallion Series last week, but just didn't want to rush her. Didn't really feel like she was ready to take on that high-level stakes competition just yet, but look out for her. Depending on today's performance, could see her with the Buckeye Stallion Series here for another leg with them. Horse 4 is Just Believe. Bill Webb doing the training, Kim Pluto driving. This was a $16,000 yearling purchase at the Buckeye Classic sale in Springfield last October. And this horse is actually, this filly is a Uncle Peter and is a half-sister to Buckeye Jess, who we'll see here later today. She has the rail in race 3 for John Kineski. So some relatives racing here today, some siblings. But again, Just Believe out of the Buckeye Classic scale for $16,000. And her dam is J.H. Jessica, who took a mark of 152 and 3 at the age of 2. Made over $83,000 with 5 wins, including a win in the Indiana Sire Stakes. So a really nice family here, a really nice mare that Just Believe is out of. So she's actually coming off of a qualifier at Hoosier Park here on the 3rd of July. Other fair action that she's been in, she was up at Paulding, was 3rd there in a time of 2:12 and 2. Between 2 really good trotting fillies, Bippity Boppity Blue and Not a Clue. and was really tough in there. Also got a 4th place finish at Marion there at the end of June on the 28th with Jeff Neisonger driving in a time of 2:09 and 2, so improved 3 seconds between her first start at Paulding and second start at Marion. Rounding out the field, the 5, Not a Clue. Ed Greeno Jr. doing the training and driving here and has 2 starts so far this season with 2 seconds, just over $2,300 made. So she got her season started at Paulding on June the 15th and jumped out to the lead, tried to take him gate to wire, but just got nailed at the line by Bippity Boppity Blue in that race. Second by a neck in a time of 2:10. And then her second outing was at Ottawa, where it was more of the same. She got out to the lead and tried to make every pole a winning one. Ended up just getting tracked down there in the lane of that race, also in a time of 2:13. So last start she was scheduled to make was at Marion on the 28th, but she was scratch sick at that time. So hopefully she's all good and ready to go here today. Had 3 weeks off, so hopefully back to 100% there for Ed Greeno Jr. This is a My MVP filly out of the Malabar Man Mare Mystery Hanover, who only made $13,000 in her racing career, but she's produced 4 winners in 7 foals, with 2 of those foals having over $150,000 in earnings. So Not a Clue is trying to make it 5 for 8 as far as winners and foals out of Mystery Hanover here today. And I'm sure Ed Greeno Jr. wouldn't mind if she went on to make $150,000 either. So they actually picked her up for $17,000 in the Ohio Select sale in September out of the Cool Winds Farms consignment.
The right way of the track.
Sounds like we're getting ready to bring horses out here for race number 1. Again, the first division of the Ohio Fair Racing Conference 2-year-old filly trotters.
I start printing postword for race 1. This is the first division of the 2-year-old filly trot, going for a purse of $5,368. This is the Gray Mountain Skyworks Trophy Race. Number 1, We Love Lucy, has been drawn. Number 2 is G's Independence, owned by Rebecca Glassford of Crystal River, Florida, and Marshall Macon of Bell, Florida, trained by Jim Molnix, the driver Cameron McCown. Number 3 is Shonda, owned by Moses Flowers Jr. of Jackson, Mississippi, trained and driven by Derek Flowers. Number 4 is Just Believe, owned by Bill Webb of Defiance, Ohio, Diamond DP Standardbreds of Kendallville, Indiana, and Doug Wright out of Winchester, Indiana, trained by Bill Webb, the driver Kim Pluto. Number 5 is Not a Clue, owned by E.G. Trot, LLC of Findlay, Ohio, trained and driven by Ed Greeno Jr. Horses will take 1 long score and go to the gate. Mute your windows, closing in 4 minutes. There's Win, Place, Exacta, Quinella, wagering here in race 1. Daily double wagering on races 1 and 2. Your attention to the barns. You plan to warm up after race 1. Have your horse ready to come on the track when the horses with this race are going off. Getting your horses ready for race 2.
So the opener of the Daily Double here at the Ottawa County Fair in Oak Harbor. Again, first division of the 2-year-old filly trotters, 4 of them going postward in this one. Just did a quick rundown of the field here. Again, the 2 is G's Independence. Cameron McCown driving, the 3 Shonda and Derek Flowers, the 4 Just Believe and Kim Pluta, and the 5 is Not a Clue with Ed Greeno Jr. So it's a pretty good group of young trotters in here. Again, seen a lot of good performance out of a couple of them, so it'll be interesting to see how they do again here today. And again, the 1 horse was We Love Lucy, was scratched out of this race. So also, if you're watching from home, today we're on YouTube. So actually a lot of fair racing action going on today at 4 o'clock. We had the Hilliard Fair going off, so that's on one of our OHHA Facebook pages. At 5 o'clock, we had the Lebanon Warren County Fair going postward there the same time as us. So they're also out there on Facebook, and then here at the Ottawa County Fair in Oak Harbor, we're starting with a post time of 5 also, and we are on the OHHA YouTube page. So try to spread the word with your friends here. I did post some stuff out on Facebook you might have been able to see if you follow my Scott Trot page. I try to post a live link out there. So again, feel free to share that with your friends.
Shonda, Just Believe, and Not a Clue on the outside. They're at the boat. Starting gate is rolling now.
Getting ready for race number 1. Bill Peters going to be doing the play-by-play call here for you guys, and I'm sure you will enjoy here. So here we go, race number 1, first division of the 2-year-old filly trotters.
Here they come. They're off and trotting. That's Shonda going out after the early lead along with Just Believe. On the extreme outside third is Not a Clue, and the last horse is G's Independence. As they make the turn now to head down the backside to race over toward that quarter-mile mark, Derek Flowers has Shonda on top by 2.5 lengths. Running in there second is Just Believe, driven by Kim Pluta. Off stride third is Not a Clue, driven by Ed Greeno Jr., and the last horse is G's Independence, driven by Cameron McCown. Going to that quarter-mile mark, that's still Shonda by 2 lengths. Racing in there second, that's Just Believe, and then comes Not a Clue, and the last horse is G's Independence. 31. First quarter trotted in 31 seconds. As they race around that upper turn to come down past the stand for the first time, that is still Shonda by 2 lengths. Continuing to trot in there second is Just Believe. Closing in a wee bit third now is Not a Clue. The last horse off stride is G's Independence. As they race down toward that half-mile mark, that's Derek Flowers and Shonda bringing the horses down to the half. Closing in second now is Just Believe. And their third is Not a Clue, and trailing is G's Independence. First half trotted in 104 and 1/5. As they round the turn now to head down the backside to race over to that 3/4 mile mark. The one to catch is Shonda, and the closest horse second is Just Believe. Not a Clue is now trotting into contention third. The last horse, G's Independence. As they head toward that 3/4 mile mark, that's still Shonda with the lead, but here comes Just Believe up on the outside to pour on the pressure. And the closing in their third is Not a Clue, and trailing is G's Independence. Past that 3/4 mile mark, that's Shonda along the rail, and Just Believe on the outside there, only heads apart.
35 and 4.
3/4 in 135 and 4/5. As they race around that upper turn to head for pay dirt. Now Shonda regains the lead by 2.5 lengths over Just Believe, and Not a Clue still right there third. As they turn toward home, that's Shonda along the rail, and here comes Just Believe on the outside. Shonda and Just Believe as they race through the lane. Shonda at the rail, Just Believe on the outside. Shonda and Just Believe, it's going to be Shonda. And here the outcome, Just Believe up for place.
Just waiting to get the final time of the mile on that one there. So it was Shonda shooting out to the early lead. Horses that Derek has in today. And again, Derek's been really happy with Shonda here so far. Loved her attitude at the sale and has just loved everything about her ever since. So he knew after her qualifier at Hawthorne on July the 10th, she was going to be something special this season, and also took a victory out at the out in Henry, Illinois, in a non-winners of 3750 class out there. Went gate to wire, and that also in 2:12 and 1 on the half-mile track out in Henry. Here he comes back into the winner's circle.
And now moving down the track into the winner's circle, where one of the winners go. Coming in all the way from Jackson, Mississippi, comes number 3, Shonda, owned by Moses Flowers Jr., and trained into the victory by Derek Flowers. Now this was the Graymont and Skyworks Trophy Race. Let's do a big hand here for the Flowerses and Shonda, the winner of race 1, and the Greymont and Skyworks, the sponsors of this race. Here are the official placings for race 1 from the top. Number 1, We Love Lucy had been drawn. Number 2, G's Independence was 4th. Number 3, Shonda was the winner. Number 4, Just Believe was 2nd. Number 5, Not a Clue was 3rd. Time of the first quarter was 31 seconds. The half was in 1:04 and 1/5. The 3/4 in 1:35 and 4/5, with a mile in 2:07 and 2/5. From the top it should read, scratch 4:123, a mile in 2:07 and 2/5.
So Derek Flowers again picking up the victory there, and Shonda has a new lifetime mark. She took that lifetime mark of 2:12 and 1 out at Henry, Illinois, and she's going to lower it to 2:07 and 2 today here at the Ottawa County Fair in Oak Harbor. And race number 1, the first division of the Ohio Fair Racing Conference, 2-year-old filly trotter. So again, the order of the finish: the 3, Shonda, your winner; the 4, Just Believe, 2nd; the 5, Not a Clue, 3rd; and G's Independence, the 2-horse, in 4th. So we're going to step aside here and get a word from our fine sponsors. We'll be back on the other side of the break with the second half of today's Daily Double at the Ottawa County Fair.
Cool Winds Farm in Lima, Ohio is a full-service standardbred breeding facility that specializes in stallion management. Cool Winds Farm stands the popular Dancing Yankee, whose first crop hit the ground this year and are great-looking individuals. Cool Winds is also standing Rockin' Amadeus, sire of world champion Ocean Rock. Be sure to inspect the Cool Winds yearlings at the Ohio Selected Jug Sale at Pickaway on September 17th.
When you need supplies for your horse, one name stands out: Big D's. Since 1976, Big D's Tack and Vet Supply has been the equine experts you can trust. Whatever your horse needs is available at Big D's Tack and Vet Supply. Visit the retail outlet in Streetsboro, Ohio, or order online at bigdweb.com. Most orders shipped that day, or call 1-800-321-2142. Big D's Tack and Vet Supply.
Bow River Jewelry has been the premier designers of sulky jewelry for more than 30 years. We incorporate today's fashion designs to create a unique piece of jewelry only found at Bow River. Visit bowriverjewelry.com today.
Pays $63.
Thank you again to our friends at Cool Winds, Big D, Tack and Vet, and Bow River for sponsoring our fair coverage this season. We're going to be bringing you every single card of the fair season here on the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association Network, whether that be on Facebook or YouTube. Just like today, again, where you have 3 fairs that are racing here at the same time. So we have fairs on the OHHA page. We have a race on the OHHA broadcasting page, and then here at the Ottawa County Fair in Oak Harbor, we are on YouTube. So if you're not sure where to find us or what fair you want to tune into, just go to the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association Facebook page, and they do have links posted to all 3 fairs that are racing right now. And if you want to follow from home, you can actually download a free program. So if you go to www.ohha.com, once you're on the home page of the website, go down the middle column that is highlighted in white, and at the top it has a heading that says Horseman. If you scroll down there about the 4th or 5th bullet point, you can see fair live stream broadcast and race programs. You can click that and it'll take you to a new page, and then from there you can click on which fair program you want to download. It'll have all of them listed from today, whether you want to watch the Hilliard Fair, the Lebanon Fair, or here at Oak Harbor. You can download programs from all 3 of those cards today. So now we're moving on to race number 2, the second half of the Daily Double here. And this is going to be the Ohio Fair Racing Conference's 2-year-old filly Pacers, the first of 2 divisions for them, going for a purse of $5,488 here in race number 2. And we have a field of 8 fillies going postward here. 1 through 7 will start on the gate, with the 8 being a trailer in the second tier. And we'll take a rundown through the field here real quick. The 1 is Black Tilly, trained by Krista Harmon, driven by Don Harmon. The 2 is Seamar Go, trained by Steve Novak and make the driver Kim Pluta. The 3 is Because She Said So, trained by Robbie Brooks. Skip DeMall will drive. The 4 is Seaside Beauty, trained by Brian Brown. Cam McCown will do the driving. Trained by Brian Brown. Cam McCown will do the driving. And the 5 is Lost Peanut, trained by Rebecca Nichols. Pierce Henry will be the driver. The 6 is Rockin' Sage, trained by Kevin Slawball and driven by Justin Irvine. The 7 is De Havilland, trained and driven by Greg Bateson. And then rounding out the field, the second tier trailer, the 8 is DT Body Rock, trained and driven by our last race winner, Derek Flowers, trying to take both sides of the daily double here. And he does have a really nice filly in here, so chance he could sweep the daily double. So taking a look through some of the facts and figures and research I was able to do on the field here today, the 2 Seamar Go is a $20,000 yearling purchase out of the Buckeye Classic sale in October in Springfield. Gerald Migel, the owner there, he's been in harness racing since 1963, so I got to talk to Gerald back in the barn area earlier today to kind of get the lowdown on Seamar Go. This is the second foal from Mega Ball Hanover, who is a Western Terror mare. And they think here Seamar Go is coming off a start at Marion. She was 5th by 7 lengths in that one. Afterwards, they did find out she was sick in that last out, so she's had 3 weeks off here to try to recover. And I know Steve Novak and Gerald Migel are trying to get her back to 100%, so we'll see how she does here today. The 3 is Because She Said So, Robbie Brooks. The trainer, Skip DeMall, is the driver. And this is a $16,000 yearling purchase for the Brookses. And they actually based that off of a horse that they had last season by the name of Not She Said.
The last horse is on its way.
And we'll go through it to the post parade here. Bill Peters will run us through the post parade of race number 2.
Mr. Harmon, you can just bring your horse right on down. Bring your horse right along, Mr. Harmon. The horses are coming out. Okay. Horses are printing postward for race 2. That's the first division of the 2-year-old filly pace, going for a purse of $5,488. This is the Red Line Case in IH and Lafarge Trophy Race. Number 1 is Black Tilly, owned by Krista and Don Harmon of Jackson, Michigan, trained by Krista Harmon. The driver is Don Harmon. Number 2 is Seamar Go, owned by Jerry Migel of Westland, Michigan, trained by Steve Novak. The driver, Kim Pluta. Number 3 is Because She Said So, owned and trained by Robbie Brooks of Van Loo, Ohio. The driver, Skip DeMall. Number 4 is Seaside Beauty, owned by Richard Lombardo of Solon, Ohio, with Caviar Farms of Virginia, M. Kentervix of Delray Beach, Florida, and Lightning 5 Racing Stable of Plainview, New York, trained by Brian Brown. The driver, Cameron McCown. Number 5 is Lost Peanut, owned by Becky Nichols and Kurt Schaub of Attica, Ohio, trained by Becky Nichols. The driver, Pierce Henry. Number 6 is Rockin' Sage, owned by Nathan Yoder of Odin, Indiana, trained by Kevin Slayball. The driver, Justin Irvin. Number 7 is De Havilland, owned by Greg Bateson of Toledo, Ohio, the Hader Stables LLC of Temperance, Michigan, trained and driven by Greg Bateson. Number 8 is DT Body Rock, owned, trained, and driven by Derek Flowers of Jackson, Mississippi. Horses will take one long score and go to the gate and mute your windows, closing in 4 minutes. There's Win, Place, Show, Exacta, Quinella, and Trifecta Wagering here in race 2. Your gents of the barns, you plan to warm up after race 2. Have your horse ready to come on the track when the horses for this race are going off. Be getting your horses ready for race 3.
And there's the field of 8 fillies here in race number 2. And before we went to post parade, I was talking about the 3 Because She Said So for Robbie Brooks. Again, a $16,000 yearling purchase, a well-said filly. And they base that off of a horse that they actually owned and raised named Not What She Said, who actually went on last year, had an amazing season. For Matt Rowe, after he bought her from the Brookses, she was in the Next Generation race at Scioto last July. Again, had a really good 2-year-old campaign, and the Brookses absolutely loved her, and so they wanted to get a horse to kind of dedicate to her, or have in her honor, so to speak.
Derek Flowers will drive number 4, Prince Nightmare. And number 7, Houdini, change the driver to Lauren Harmon. Lauren Harmon will drive number 7, Houdini, in race 10.
To go over some driver changes here, but this is actually the first race back for the 3 Because She Said So after an accident at Ottawa. She was a little banged up in that one. They did get her out to qualify her on the 5th of July just to get her comfortable racing again, make sure she didn't have any fear or anything like that may have been affecting her. So this is her first racing start back after that qualifier. So Robbie Brooks just wanting her to get around the track safely and comfortably today. The 4 is Seaside Beauty, a Brian Brown trainee. Brian said this is one of the nicest looking fillies he bought at the sale last year. A $50,000 down by the Seaside filly that he got at the Lexington sale. He did say she's very lazy. You really have to make her do everything, but she is starting to come around on that and come into her own a little bit. She's very good gaited, very good looking as well. So high hopes for her. She's coming off of a qualifier at Scioto where she jumped out to the early lead but didn't finish as strong. Brian thinks she kind of got lost on the front end last week. So we'll see what Cam McCown does driving her here today. If he's going to try to take her to the front or maybe try to race her off a helmet to kind of keep her interested.
The post starting gate is rolling now.
And again, Bill Peters, our master of ceremonies, the announcer here today. He'll take you away on race number 2, the second half of the Daily Double, with the Ohio Fair Racing Conference 2-year-old filly Pacers.
Here they come. They're off and facing. That's Black Tilly going out after the lead along with Seaside Beauty. On the outside, outside third is Lost Peanut. Down at the rail fourth is C. Margot. Moving in there fifth is Because She Said So. Sixth along the rail is DT Body Rock. Up on the outside seventh is Rockin' Sage. And the last horse is De Havilland. As they head down the backside over toward that quarter-mile mark, Cameron McCown has Seaside Beauty on top by a length and a half. Something through at the rail second now is Black Tilly, driven by Don Harmon.
29 and 2.
First quarter paced in 29 and 2/5 seconds. Out charging up on the outside to gain command is Lost Peanut. Dropping back second is Seaside Beauty. At the rail third is Black Tilly. Right there fourth is C. Margot. Fifth is Because She Said So. Sixth is DT Body Rock. Racing in their seventh now is De Havilland, and the last horse is Rockin' Sage. As they race down toward the half-mile mark, they're regaining the lead now is Seaside Beauty, and charging up on the outside is Black Tilly, and along the rail third is Lost Peanut, and right there fourth is C. Margot. First half paced in 1 minute and 4/5 seconds. As they round the turn now to head down the backside to race over toward that 3/4 mile mark. Sticking his nose out in front on the outside is Black Tilly. Dropping back second along the rail is Seaside Beauty. Lost Peanut continues to pace in there third, but C. Margot fourth. Fifth and moving up now is De Havilland. Back to sixth is Because She Said So. Seventh is DT Body Rock, and the last horse is Rockin' Sage.
30 and 2.
3/4 in 1:30 and 2/5. As they race around that upper turn to head for pay dirt. That's Black Tilly by a length on the outside. Along the rail second is Seaside Beauty, and moving up third now is C. Margot, and back to fourth is Lost Peanut. As they race toward home, that's Black Tilly on the outside, Seaside Beauty along the rail. They're only heads apart as they race through the lane. Black Tilly on the outside, Seaside Beauty along the rail. Seaside Beauty and Black Tilly. It's Seaside Beauty. Black Tilly up for place, up for show is C. Margot. A mile in 2:02 and 1/5.
Wow, always an exciting race when you get 8 horses out there on a half-mile fair track for sure. Plenty of action to be had. And it was the 4 Seaside Beauty that got off to a really good start, along with the 1 Black Tilly from the rail. Cameron was able to put Seaside Beauty on the point, and Black Tilly slipped in for a pocket ride there, which left the 5 Lost Peanut and Pierce Henry hung on the outside there. Finally, once they got past a 29-2 pretty quick opening quarter, Cam did release Lost Peanut and let her get to the point on a give and go, and he took the lead back as they hit the stretch the first time. And after that, Seaside Beauty really had the pressure poured on from Black Tilly and Don Harmon, and they were pretty much side-by-side matching strides about the last half of that race. A really exciting battle between those two. And it ended up being the 4 Seaside Beauty and Cam McCown coming out on top by about a half a length over Black Tilly and Don Harmon. Taking third was the 2 Seamar Go for trainers Steve Novak and Kim Pluta. I know Gerald Migel will be really happy with a third place effort there again. Sick in her last start out, he thought. Gave her 3 weeks off to recover, and she comes back here a game third against a really tough group of 2-year-old filly pacers. So again, a really exciting race, a lot of action there, and a close finish and battle pretty much to the entire second half of the race there. So Cam McCown adding another win to his total, one of the top fair drivers this season. I believe he and Ronnie Gillespie are going toe-to-toe right now in the driver battle. I'll have to see where the updated stats fall after today and give you guys an update on that. But I believe they both may have been somewhere in the mid-20s for wins on the fair circuit this season. And here comes Cam and Seaside Beauty, and they'll go to the winner's circle. Bill Peters, take it away.
And now moving down the track into the winner's circle, where only the winners go. Coming in from Solon, Ohio, Vienna, Virginia, Delray Beach, Florida, and Plainview, New York, comes number 4, Seaside Beauty. Owned by Richard Lombardo, the Caviar Farms, M. Cantrovex, Lightning 5 Racing Stable, trained by Brian Brown, and driven to victory this evening by Cameron McCown. This is the Red Line Case IH and Lafarge Trophy Race.
Okay, thank you. 412 official.
Let's really hear it here for Cameron McCown, Don Dayton, and Seaside Beauty. And the Red Line Case and IH and Lafarge, the donors of the blanket. Here are the official placings for race 2 from the top. Number 1, Black Tilly was second. Number 2, C. Margot was third. Number 3, Because She Said So was 6th. Number 4, Seaside Beauty was the winner. Number 5, Lost Peanut was 5th. Number 6, Rockin' Sage was 7th. Number 7, De Havilland was 8th. And number 8, DT Body Rock was 4th. Time of the first quarter was 29 2/5. The half was in 1 minute and 4/5. The 3/4 in 1:30 2/5, with a mile in 2:02 1/5. The top it should read 2:36 1:57 8:4 on the bottom, a mile in 2:02 1/5.
And again, really exciting second race there to cap off the daily double here at the Ottawa County Fair in Oak Harbor. So in that race, for those of you maybe wondering at home, the 5 Lost Peanut did go off as the betting favorite here at the track. But again, that was a really tough trip there after getting parked out. And again, resulted in the 4 Seaside Beauty getting a win in her first lifetime start for Brian Brown and Cameron McCown. So that's the end of race number 2 here. We're going to step aside and get a word from our fine sponsors. We'll be back with race number 3 here from the Ottawa County Fair in Oak Harbor.
Athletes, they come in all shapes and sizes. They catch, they leap, they run. Some athletes even come with 4 legs and paws and hooves. When these beloved family members need care, remember the Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center. Ohio State experts wrote the book on exceptional animal care and know how to get our best friends back on their feet. the Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.
Back here at Oak Harbor in the Ottawa County Fair, Austin Scott on the mic here, Tim Edmonds behind the camera for Trot and Pace Marketing. And again, we want to thank our sponsors, the Ohio State Vet Medical Center and thestable.ca, for supporting our fair racing broadcast this season and making it possible for us to hit every fair in the Buckeye State this season. So we're ready for race number 3 here at the Ottawa County Fair with the Ohio Fair Racing Conference. It's going to be the 3-year-old filly trotters, the first of 2 divisions going postward here in race number 3, going for a purse of $4,968. So we have 5 fillies going to post in this race, and we'll take you down through the field here real quick. The 1 is Buckeye Jess, trainer and driver John Kineski. The 2 is Hot Chocolate, Ed Conrad doing the training and driving there. The 3 is Feisty Pistol, trained by Christopher Beaver, and B.J. Roberts will be in the sulky. The 4 is Jiffy Bug, with Tom Moore Jr. doing the training and driving. And rounding out the field is the 5, Grandma Girl, trained by Anthony Smith, driven today here by Skip DeMall. So, again, we saw the 1 Buckeye Jess's half-sister race earlier today in the opener. Jess Believe was a Uncle Peter filly, while Buckeye Jess is a DeJarmbro. Both of them, again, out of the Jailhouse Jessie mare, J.H. Jessica. So Buckeye Jess in here today with the rail in this one, coming off of a qualifier at Northfield in 2 minutes and 3/5. In that one with a closing quarter of 30-3 for John Kineski. The 2 Hot Chocolate and Ed Conrad coming off of a start in the Buckeye Stallion Series for 3-year-old filly trotters at Northfield back on the 5th of July, where she was 7th in that race in a time of 1:57.4 in a race that went in 1:55.1, again for 3-year-old filly trotters of the Buckeye Stallion Series. So that's a monster mile there by the race winner, Magic Credit Card. The 3 is Feisty Pistol for Chris Beaver and B.J. Roberts doing the driving. Spoke to B.J. before the race about Feisty Pistol, and he said she is extremely sharp right now. She doesn't have the best gate speed, but he said that she handles the turns exceptionally well, which is really important here. Again, on a half-mile fair track, just because, again, with it being a half mile, you're making 4 turns throughout the race as compared to maybe when you're at the 5/8 of Scioto or Miami Valley or Dayton Raceway where you're only making 3 turns, or maybe a 7/8 like Hoosier Park, or a mile like the Meadowlands where you're only making 2. So when you have a horse that can handle turns very well, it gives you a huge tactical advantage here on the fair tracks as well. Also, with them not being very high bank turns to where you have a lot for your horse to hold on to. If you can find one that can get around the fair tracks really well, you would have really an ATM on your hands, so to speak. And that's what Feisty Pistol has been, a winner of over $10,000 in her last 5 starts. And she's actually coming off a 2nd place effort at Wilmington last week for the Clinton County Fair. She was 2nd by a neck to Broken Hartsville, who is another good stakes filly trotter as well. A time of 2:03.4 with a final quarter in 28.4 in that race for Feisty Pistol. She's also seen some Buckeye Stallion Series action as well back on the 5th of July at Northfield, and she was 2nd there in a time of 1:55.1 with Aaron Merriman at the controls for Chris Beaver. So Feisty Pistol, again, really sharp. 2 starts before that, we're talking about a win at Marion on the 28th of June by 12 lengths in a time of 2:02.4, and then also a win at Ottawa in 204 and 2, an 18 and a quarter length winner there. So again, feisty pistol, really sharp. Figures to be probably pretty forwardly placed in this one for a good finish. The 4 is Jiffy Bug. Tom Moore Jr. doing the training and driving. Was scheduled to race at Marion on the 28th, but was scratched sick in that one. Also has 2 lifetime starts before that at Paulding and at the Ottawa Fair as well. So making her 3rd lifetime start here today at the Ottawa County Fair in Oak Harbor. And the 5 is Grandma Girl, Anthony Smith, the trainer, owner, and breeder of this Flex the Muscle filly trotter out of the Darvin Mare Credit Card Molly. So again, Anthony Smith raised her, said she's extremely ornery, and he calls her Gigi for short. So wanted to make sure I gave Gigi some airtime today. Bill Peters going to take us through the post parade here for race number 3.
Our separating post word for race 3. This is the first division of the 3-year-old filly trot. Going for a purse of $4,968. This is the Materian Trophy race. Number 1 is Buckeye Jess. Owned by John Koneski III of Pemberville and Patrick Koneski of Bowling Green. Trained and driven by John Koneski III. Number 2 is Hot Chocolate. Owned by Salvatore Amato of Newport, Michigan, and Edward Mason of Monroe, Michigan. Trained and driven by Ed Conrad. Number 3 is Feisty Pistol. Owned by Chris Beaver of Radnor, Ohio, Don Miola of Powell, Ohio, Don Robinson of Cardington, Ohio, and RBH Ventures Incorporated of New York City, trained by Chris Beaver, the driver B.J. Roberts. Number 4 is Jiffy Bug, owned, trained, and driven by Tom Moore Jr. of Napoleon. Number 5 is Grandma Girl, owned and trained by Tony Smith of Wasion, the driver Skip DeMall. Horses will take 1 long score and go to the gate. Mute your windows, closing in 4 minutes. There's Win, Place, Show, Exacta, Quinella, and Trifecta Wagering here in race 3. Your attention to the barns. You plan to warm up after race 3. Have your horse ready to come on the track when the horses of this race are going off. Be getting your horses ready for race 4.
So again, race 3 here, the first division of the 3-year-old filly trotters of the Ohio Fair Racing Conference. Was talking about the 5 Grandma Girl before the post parade, and she is making her first career start here today for owner, trainer, and breeder Anthony Smith. Will Skip DeMall driving. She has been gate schooled already this year, and she has trained at 212 at the Fulton County Fairgrounds in Wasion, but she was alone during that training mile, they pointed out to me. Hasn't had a chance to train around a bunch of other horses, so will be interesting to see how she acts today. Her first time on track with 4 opponents to go up against. So again, to me, it looks like the 3 Feisty Pistol, pretty sharp here in this group, leaving from post 3. 11 starts this season, 3 wins, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, with over $17,000 made. Has taken a mark of 158 and 2 at Northfield. So she also raced in some late closer action at Scioto back in June also. She was in the non-winners of 2 class down there. Actually got 3rd in the final that went off for $18,100 and was race timed there 3rd by 3/4 of a length in a time of 155 and 4. So again, a battle-tested filly, extremely sharp right now for Chris Beaver and B.J. Roberts. So B.J. Roberts actually on the comeback trail this season has 12 starts, 2 wins, 4 seconds, and a third with a UDRS of 380, which is extremely good here. But again, on the comeback trail, he was injured in a work accident in February of 2020 and told me he spent most of last year in and out of the hospital, and this year finally got back behind the horses again and is starting to get back to 100%. He says he's working every day to get back there health-wise, but again, judging by his stats so far this fair season, he's doing exceptionally well, and I'd be afraid to see what he's going to do when he's back to 100%. So again, that's B.J. Roberts, the driver of the 3 Feisty Pistol.
Marshall lining up down the backside on the way to the gate. Buckeye Jess moving at the rail. Then comes Hot Chocolate, Feisty Pistol, Jiffy Bug, with Grandma Girl on the outside. They're at the post.
Starting gate is rolling down.
Race number 3 again, the Ohio Fair Racing Conference's 3-year-old filly trotters, the first division of 2, going for a purse of $4,968. 5 are in behind the gate here, and it'll be Bill Peters again on the call here of race number 3.
Here they come. They're off and trotting. That's Hot Chocolate going out after to lead along with Feisty Pistol. And their third is Buckeye Jess. Fourth is Grandma Girl. And the last horse is Jiffy Bug. As they make the turn now to head down the backside, a race toward that quarter-mile mark, Ed Conrad has Hot Chocolate on top by 2 lengths. Trotting in there second is Feisty Pistol, driven by B.J. Roberts. Third is Buckeye Jess, driven by John Kineski. In their fourth is Grandma Girl, driven by Skip DeMall. And the last horse is Jiffy Bug, driven by Tom Moore Jr. Past that quarter-mile mark, that's still Hot Chocolate by a length and a half. First quarter trotted in 32 1/5 seconds. As they race around that upper turn to come down past the stand for the first time, that's Hot Chocolate by a length and a half over Feisty Pistol. Buckeye Jess is in their third. Fourth is Grandma Girl, and Jiffy Bug trails. 5 trotters fairly well bunched as they race down toward the half-mile mark. That's Ed Conrad and Hot Chocolate bringing the horses down to the half. Right there in the golden chair second, that's Feisty Pistol. Buckeye Jess continues to trot third, followed by Grandma Girl and Jiffy Bug. First half trotted in 104 2/5. As they round the turn now to head down the backside to race over that 3/4 mile mark. The one to catch is Hot Chocolate. The closest horse second is Feisty Pistol. Third is Buckeye Jess, and then comes Grandma Girl and Jiffy Bug. The pace picks up a wee bit as they go toward that 3/4 mile mark. That's still Hot Chocolate with the lead, but closing in a wee bit second is Feisty Pistol. Buckeye Jess continues to trot third, Grandma Girl fourth, and Jiffy Bug fifth. 3/4 and 134 2/5. As they race around that upper turn to head for pay dirt. That's Hot Chocolate along the rail and Feisty Pistol on the outside. They are racing head for head, nose for nose. They turn toward home. Hot Chocolate at the rail, Feisty Pistol on the outside. Now off stride, momentarily went Hot Chocolate. It's gonna be Feisty Pistol, and here the outcome. Hot Chocolate up for place, up for show is Buckeye Jess. Mile in 2:04.
Pretty impressive there by Feisty Pistol. So it was the 2 Hot Chocolate shooting out to the lead there, and the 3 Feisty Pistol really settled into the pocket nicely. Was under a tight rein from B.J. Roberts pretty much the entire mile. It was identical 32 1/4 to open things up. They got to the half at 104 2 with Feisty Pistol right on the helmet of Hot Chocolate, the leader, and he made his move heading to 3/4. Feisty Pistol jumped to the outside and was side by side with Hot Chocolate throughout that final turn, but it was Feisty Pistol kicking away in the stretch, and Hot Chocolate made just a late break there, maybe trying to push a little too hard. So got to be really gentle building these filly trotters up to speed here. But again, it was Feisty Pistol coming away with the win in a time of 2:04. So they actually came the back half of that race in 59 3, which is extremely fast again for 3-year-old filly trotters on a fair track. So pretty impressive there by Feisty Pistol and Hot Chocolate. Wish she could have stayed on stride and saw what she had there heading to the wire.
And now moving down the track into the winner's circle where only the winners go. Coming in from Radnor, Powell, and Cardington, Ohio, and New York City comes number 3, Feisty Pistol. Owned by Chris Beaver, Don Miola, Don Robinson, and RBH Ventures Incorporated. Trained by Chris Beaver and driven to victory this evening by B.J. Roberts. This is the Materian Trophy Race. Let's have a big hand here for B.J. Roberts and Feisty Pistol, and to Materian, the donors of the blanket.
And just waiting to get the official order.
There are the official
here.
placings for race 3 from the top. Number 1, Buckeye Jess was 3rd. Number 2, Hot Choco Latte was 2nd. Number 3, Feisty Pistol was the winner. Number 4, Jiffy Bug was 4th. Number 5, Grandma Girl was 5th. Time of the first quarter was 32 1/5. The half was in 104 2/5. The 3/4 in 134 2/5. While the mile in 204. From the top, it should read 3, 2, 1, 4, 5 on the bottom. The mile in 204. The last half in 59 3/5 seconds.
So you heard Bill Peters there, back half of 59 3, final quarter of 29 3.
There'll be Win, Place, Show, Exacta, Quinella, and Trifecta Wagering.
So it's Feisty Pistol taking the win here. So she's been 3rd or better now in 6 straight starts. So pretty impressive for her. And she's going to push her yearly earnings here close to $20,000 in just 12 starts. So pretty impressive there. And that puts a cap on race number 3. We'll be back on the other side of this break at the Ottawa County Fair in Oak Harbor with race number 4, the first division of the 3-year-old filly pace.
With more than 300,000 horses in Ohio, the economic impact of the equine industry in the state is over $2.8 billion. Much of that value comes from standardbred horse owners, breeders, trainers, and drivers who participate in the sport of harness racing. The mission of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association is to preserve, protect, promote, and serve the entire standardbred industry in Ohio and beyond. To learn more about the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association, go to ohha.com. That's ohha.com.
And back here again, getting ready for race 4 here at the Ottawa County Fair in Oak Harbor. I want to take a minute again to thank Midland Acres as well as the OHHA for their support here in broadcasting all of our fair races this summer across the great state of Ohio. So thank you again to Midland Acres. Coming back with race number 4, again, the first division of the 3-year-old filly pacers here today, going for a purse of $5,168. So 2 divisions of the 3-year-old filly pacers. And here in race 4, we have 6 horses going to post, and we'll give you a rundown of the field. The 1 is Miss Carly Shea. Jamie Lang doing the training, Rod Allums Jr. doing the driving. The 2 is Margin of Error, trained by Chris Beaver and BJ Roberts, the driver. The 3 is Granny for Kim Pluta, who trains and drives. The 4 is Artificial Sweetener for Daniel Korfman, that does the training and driving. The 5 is Reese with Pierce Henry doing the training and driving. And rounding the field is the 6, Oh, the Places You'll Go, trained by Barb Redder and driven today by Ed Conrad. So again, a field of 6 going postward for the first of 2 divisions of the 3-year-old filly pacers with the Ohio Fair Racing Conference. So taking a look down through the field, again, the 1, Miss Carly Shea. She's been competing with the filly and mare non-winners of 2 condition claimers down at Scioto Downs. Her last start out 2 weeks ago at Scioto, where she was 6th in the time of 1:55.1 in a race that went in 1:52.3. So that is just crazy speed for a non-winners of 2 condition claimer class. But that's how competitive things are at Scioto here throughout the entire summer. The 2 is Margin of Error. Chris Beaver doing the training here. Most people knowing Chris Beaver for his trotters. This is one of the pacers in his barn. It's a Racing Hill filly out of an Arts Place mare named Margin Blue Chip. BJ Roberts, the winner of our last race, doing the driving on this one as well. He told me that Margin of Error was battling a foot abscess here as of late, but she is coming off a good start at the Scioto Downs, where she was competing in Buckeye Stallion Series action on July the 15th. She was fourth in that race by 2 1/4 lengths, but did have a time of 1:52 and 2 with a final quarter in 27 and 4. So BJ said that really she doesn't have that great burst of speed, but she can grind it out with the best of them. So again, a really gutty effort there at Scioto Downs, where she was sitting ninth, 10 lengths off the lead at the half, came back and finished fourth, just 2.5 lengths off of the win. So a really impressive start for her there. Tyler Smith was driving in that race. The start before that was a Buckeye Stallion Series start at Northfield on the 27th of June, in which she was sixth by 6 3/4 lengths and a time of 1:55 and 2. So far on the season, 7 starts, with 2 of those being third place efforts, $5,150 made. The 3 is Grainy for Kim Pluta, doing the training and driving, coming off a fair stakes start where she was third by 8.5 lengths and finished with a time of 2:03 and 3 behind Don't Trip and another filly in this race, Reese. The 4 Artificial Sweetener. Talked to Daniel Korfman before the race today, and he said has 2 artificial